The Himalayas mattered not because they were just high mountains. They mattered because they reorganized a huge part of Asia. Across the subcontinent and the inner Asian edge, this mountain wall shaped movement, rivers, climate, and frontier worlds. This was not one uniform mountain zone. The Himalayas included giant snowy barriers, enclosed valleys, high plateaus, narrow passes, foothill belts, and river-cut eastern corridors. Different sections gave the range different historical roles. So, the Himalayas were more than a dramatic skyline. They were a continental system that shaped defense, water supply, settlement patterns, exchange, and political separation. The mountains did not simply block Asia, they organized it. One built-in feature was the Great Mountain Barrier. The Himalayas created a massive wall between the Indian subcontinent and the high interior of Asia. Movement did not pass freely across this zone. It was forced into limited and difficult approaches. Another built-in feature was water control from height. The Himalayas fed major river systems that supported large downstream plains and dense human settlement. So the range influenced history not only in the mountains but far below them. A further built-in feature was pass-filtered crossing. The range was never perfectly closed, but crossing points were narrow, difficult, and strategic. That made selected valleys and passes important for trade, pilgrimage, diplomacy, and invasion. The mountain system also supported concentrated settlement in selected belts. Foothills, valley basins, and mountain edge plains created livable zones beside a harsher high barrier. That encouraged political centers to grow not everywhere, but at favored edges and enclosed pockets. The Himalayas also had climatic leverage. The range helped separate wet monsoon-fed South Asia from the drier high plateau to the north. So it shaped different agricultural worlds, different population densities, and different strategic environments on each side. These mountain roles appeared clearly in major Himalayan edge regions. Kashmir combined enclosure with gateway pressure. Kathmandu grew in a protected valley tied to selected trans-mountain links. Guwahati stood at the eastern hinge between river plain and mountain world. The Terai drew strength from the Himalayan rivers that spread across its lowland belt. Some decisive places grow inside protected mountain basins. Kathmandu rose where a sheltered valley gathered settlement beneath the Himalaya. This was not an exposed open plain. Kathmandu sat inside a mountain-ringed valley where access was limited and settlement could concentrate on a sheltered floor. Its importance came from controlled concentration. The valley gathered people, farming, and exchange into one enclosed pocket while movement entered through limited approaches. Kathmandu's role was a protected valley gateway in the Himalayan world. It benefited from enclosed basin settlement while linking selected mountain and plain-facing routes. Not every important Himalayan place stood on an exposed slope. Kashmir grew in a broad valley held between mountain barriers where shelter and concentration came together. This was not a loose open mountain zone. Kashmir lay inside a contained valley where level land, water, and a protected floor allowed settlement to gather beneath surrounding heights. Its advantage came from concentrated space behind limited entrances. The valley drew farming, settlement, and exchange onto one interior floor, while movement still had to pass through narrowed approaches. Kashmir's role was a protected valley corridor in the western Himalaya. It joined enclosed settlement space with selective access to mountain passes and plains-facing routes beyond the surrounding ranges. Some strategic cities rise where broad valleys tighten into gateways. Guwahati grew where hills pressed close to the Brahmaputra, turning movement through Assam into a more focused corridor. This was not a loose stretch of open plain. At Guwahati, the river met enclosing heights and a tighter passage, giving settlement and travel a more defined geographic frame. Its importance came from compression inside a larger valley route. Traffic, exchange, and settlement could gather where the Brahmaputra corridor narrowed and access became easier to organize. Guwahati's role was a hill-fringed river gateway on the eastern Himalayan edge. It connected the Brahmaputra corridor with selected upland approaches while anchoring movement along the Assam plain. Not every decisive Himalayan zone stood high in the mountains. The Terai mattered because it formed a difficult lowland belt at the foot of the range, filtering movement between the plains and Nepal's uplands. This was not a free and easy plain crossing. The Terai stretched along the Himalayan base as a hot, wet, once heavily forested margin where access toward the hills worked through limited approaches. Its importance came from controlled approach at the mountain base. The belt could block easy settlement and movement in many stretches, yet it also focused contact through the routes that could actually pass northward. The Terai's role was a frontier filter on the Himalayan edge. It separated the plains from the hill world while shaping where trade, migration, and political reach could move between lowland South Asia and the Nepal uplands. The Himalayas shaped history not by controlling every nearby land in the same way, but by structuring Asia through one vast mountain system. They blocked movement, fed great river plains, filtered crossings into strategic gateways, supported settlement in selected belts, and divided climatic worlds. More than a barrier, the Himalayas helped organize power, population, and exchange across a continental scale.